All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Monday Night Raw Dogg. I am your host, Coach, and I am so happy. I mean, we got a full house in here tonight. We got Tank and Teddy Lemon Peppa Steppas Long on the show with us tonight. Guys, it is great to see you. How you both doing?
Pretty good.
Slightly emotional, but I'm all right.
I know it, brother. I know it. I had to compose myself a little bit there at the end. That's why we're recording a little bit later than usual. We had to, get some tissues and everything, but it happens. But let's go ahead. Let's jump right into this breakdown of Monday Night Raw. We begin with Michael Cole and Corey Graves in the ring, talking about how this is a special night for AJ Styles, a tribute show, and only for Gunther to come in and ruin it. He talks about his achievements and everything that he has done, beating Goldberg, John Cena, now AJ Styles. Adam Pearce was not having it. He comes out and gets him out of the ring. And as he goes out, Dragon Lee comes and attacks him. They go backstage to continue the fight. And it was really weird that this was kind of one giant segment, because then it led to Cody Rhodes coming out to receiving a huge pop in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, only for his promo to be interrupted by The Vision, and then the Usos came down. It was just kind of a mess, this opening segment. Very, very mid, in my opinion, too, on starting the show. So I was worried that this could not be a good sign of things to come tonight. But guys, what do you think of this opening segment with everything happening?
Man, I'm going to be honest. It just, like you said, it was just kind of a cluster. You go from one thing to another, to another, to another. And the whole thing with right now is just, I don't know. They got something planned for him for WrestleMania. Obviously they will. But to immediately go into Cody, and then I don't know how it feels for you guys, but I feel like whenever Cody comes out, it just be from last year's Mania time, 2 years ago. It just seems like he's bound to call Jey Uso down to the ring at some point. I don't know. It just seems like Jey is always there with Cody, like in some sort of aspect with Cody, and it just kind of just a cluster.
It was a little all over the place, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like the segment, you're not used to it not flowing a certain way, but like I said last night on the Stunner, like everything's not predictable right now, and we can't really predict things. But whatever they tried tonight, because it happened multiple times throughout the show during segments, like it just felt like it plateaued in certain spots. So like it didn't really have the rise that they thought it would have, or any of that stuff. Like it could have went differently, but it is what it is for tonight.
All right, well, after all of that, we then get into our first match of the evening, which is the final Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Jey Uso, the original El Grande Americano, and Bronson Reed. A lot of good action in this. You noticed Uso and Americano teaming up together, taking on Bronson Reed. It's very good storytelling in the ring there of the two guys trying to take out the bigger opponent. But it was when El Grande Americano hit the diving headbutt, which was way offline because Jay had been way too far away towards the ropes. So that did not look great. He went to the cover and Bronson Reed broke it up. Well, after that, you see Bronson Reed looking at his arm like something was wrong. We go to commercial break, come back. Turns out Bronson Reed is getting medical attention, and it doesn't look like it's storyline related. It is legitimate injury. So then it gets to a one-on-one match between Uso and Americano, and I think we all kind of saw that coming. Once it went to one-on-one, Jey Uso gets the win and is going to the Elimination Chamber. It is also revealed that Bronson Reed did suffered a torn bicep, so he is out for a while. And I would think indefinitely, yeah. I definitely thought he was going to be the winner tonight, and so they called an audible on the fly. And that just sucks because Bronson Reed was getting some big momentum going forward. And, yeah, it just sucks. What did you guys think of the match itself and then the injury to Bronson Reed?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Coach, you and I were talking about it before we went live, but in a way, I think most of these injuries could have been avoided if they added more house shows. You know, that when they limited their schedule, and really like cut out a lot of dates, these guys, you know, they are all professionals. However, you know, that ring rust is a real thing, and especially for Bronson, you know, getting as much training in there as possible. Not saying he doesn't train, but you know, these sort of things are bound to happen. And it's very unfortunate. I actually saw a report that he was actually supposed to be the one to win.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you said, they had to call an audible really quickly. Obviously, so was the correct pick there to go into the Elimination Chamber. But yeah, just a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, the match was a good match for the most part until that injury happened, and the thing I hate that recently a lot of injuries that we see happen in WWE are the freak accident injuries. Like even when like Liv fucked her shoulder up off of a typical fall bump that she was supposed to take, or you see everybody tweaking their stuff like how Javon might end up with an injury after that high flying flip that he did tonight. Like just because he was too high, it's like it's been freakish. It hasn't been like it's been a move that hurt somebody. It's been literally them hurting themselves by breaking something up or just how they feel. It sucks that happened to Bronson Reed just because now you lost Braun and Bronson Reed out of the division, and like now we're supposed to believe in the division with just Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Like that don't even sound believable. Like what can you even do with the division storyline anymore right now with them two being hurt? Because you can't really pivot with anything with Seth Rollins now. Because who is there for him to take out except Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and like, but it sucks. And I mean, it was a convincing pivot, seeing that I'm pretty sure they're already got plans for El Grande Americano for WrestleMania. So it makes sense to put Jay in the chamber, and pretty sure he'll be one of the ones that gets eliminated early or something like that. But we'll see.
All right, we go to our next segment, which is Liv Morgan making her decision for WrestleMania. She comes out with Dom Mysterio, and he calls both Stephanie Vaquer and Jade Cargill out to the ring, to which Liv, still feeling the effects of Stephanie's verbal beatdown last week, said that she wanted to apologize to Stephanie about not fully understanding her story, only for her to turn to Jade Cargill and then sneak attack Stephanie with the mic and basically said that that's who she is picking. The crowd was not behind this at all. I think they were ready for the decision, but the way it was being sold, because they were, when Liv was issuing her apology, the crowd started booing, because I don't think that's the character they want to see Liv Morgan be. They want to see who she is naturally, and that's being a natural heel that she is. And she kind of went back to it. It just didn't. I think it was too late. The damage was already done. With that said, we all kind of saw this coming. I want to give props to Stephanie for selling that mic hit, because she just, like, it looked like she legitimately got knocked out, because she just stood up and then full straight body back. Yeah. Like, did not even brace for it, just fell straight back. So I was like, I'll give props there. But other than that, the segment just kind of felt like you might have just ruined the hype for the match because of that little apology that Liv did. If she's going to be a heel, don't let her apologize, or don't make it look like she's being weak and vulnerable. Let it, like, it was just weird. I don't know.
To be honest, Coach, what they should have never did was them vignettes without it being that Liv had chosen Stephanie as her opponent.
Right.
Like, they did so many of those build-ups. Like, if she would have went with Jade, it would have been like, what was the point of you having those moments with Dom and Liv then, or like anything like that? And if you were going to have those vignettes with them attacking each other, she should have just made her choice a couple weeks ago. Like, she didn't need to go with the back and forth. We could have been knew that this Elimination Chamber was for the WWE Women's title, and we could have been knew that 2 weeks ago. She didn't have to involve Jade. She don't have a real story with Jade except for what happened with Naomi, and that's only relevant when Naomi's around.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Teddy. Tank, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It was way, like, we all knew who she was going to pick, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there was no. I'm sure they could have came up with some sort of storyline with Jade versus Liv, but it just knew how this was going to go. It's going to be one hell of a match either way, and it really sets up. I feel like it's anybody's ball game now to see who faces Jade, and I actually like that. I like how we have that. Like, anybody in that match, realistically.
Did Jordan Grace qualify?
Huh?
Did Jordan Grace qualify?
No, she didn't.
No. And so it's just, yeah, we're gonna have
Tiffy time
there. So,
all right, we get to our next match, which is a rematch from last week, or 2 weeks ago, although it didn't officially count because it was a double count out. It is Maxine Dupree and Natty going at it. Maxine coming out with new theme music. I don't know if you guys noticed that. That was different. And basically, this, not a whole lot happened in this match. I get it. They were trying to show the aggressiveness of Natty's new character. Do want to shout out Maxine for when she ran into the ring post and fell down. Again, excellent selling, because she was lifeless to where I was legit like, oh dang, I think she actually hit herself. I think she might actually be dead. Like, but then you could see her breathing a little bit. You could see her breathing a little bit, and I was like, oh no, she's okay. But I was like, hats off to you, Maxine. Good job. But this was just a cop out, and it's very disappointing. I kind of thought this would be better. I don't know what they're going to do with the storyline. It was intriguing at first. Now I'm kind of lost it. But what did you guys think?
I mean, at this point, what are they doing with Maxine? I mean, you're building Natty. I get it. But Maxine was just a champion. You know what I mean? And now she's just getting lost in the fold, and it's very unfortunate. And I feel like this happens every few years. Natty has a good character or a heel turn, things happen, and then we get a little bit of an investment there, and I don't know where to go with her new character, to be honest.
I didn't watch the match.
So that is what Big Daddy C would like to call a piss break for that match.
Oh, I definitely took that because I wasn't watching that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Not watching that.
Nothing wrong with that. At least you're being honest. That's all that matters. All right. So we get to our next segment, which is the return of Brock Lesnar. And essentially what this was Paul Heyman announcing that Brock Lesnar is going to have an open challenge for his WrestleMania opponent. And Heyman built up that he doubts anybody is going to accept it because they are going to go down in history as the person who got destroyed by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42 and said, basically, choose wisely, and left. Simple but effective. I really liked it because this is intriguing because we had no idea what Brock Lesnar was going to do, or were they going to build up a storyline of some sort? No, they just go straight with an open challenge. I like it. I think that is something different, especially for Lesnar's purposes. It keeps him out of the title scene. He doesn't need to be in that right now. I just think it was really effective to have that little twist in there and keeps us guessing for sure. Although I think we might be going the Oba Femi route. Not mad about it, but we'll see what happens. What do you guys think of this open challenge that Brock Lesnar will be doing?
I love it. Honestly, it gives a different perspective to what WrestleMania will really be without trying to world title vomit with all the main stars on the card. Brock having an open challenge in the replace of The Undertaker is like, okay, he's the one that beat the streak, so he's the one that has his open challenge. Okay, I like the idea. I was kind of hoping that Oba would have came out tonight, but I just hope that they're saving it for something good in the sense of when he does decide to step up, because that's the only thing that makes sense. That's what the universe wants. That's what everybody, that the crowd was chanting his name tonight. And I know everybody in the back heard it. So it's really one of those things of if we're going to get Oba and him, because there's nobody else that head to head with Brock Lesnar is going to sell except Oba Femi.
I agree. I agree. The only thing I would disagree with, and you kind of mentioned it though, I'm personally glad that they didn't bring out Oba. Let that build up continue to happen. I do think though the payoff's going to be great either way. That match is going to be amazing either way. Oba's going to be built to be the next Brock Lesnar, if not better. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited about the whole open challenge. Hopefully they don't wait until WrestleMania itself to announce the opponent. I'm hoping they announce it, before then. But yeah, either way.
If they don't, that music hits, it's gonna go bananas.
Mm-hmm. And so either way, it could be great either way. I'm excited. We know who it's going to be.
Because it ain't gonna be Jericho, because that would be bad.
That'd be a squash match.
That would be bad. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't put that in the universe. All right, we get to our next match, and it was actually a match that got put together backstage in a backstage segment with Javon Evans and Offset being there, to which the New Day was very upset that Offset was there for Evans, but repeatedly declined the invite from the New Day. Well, that led to a match between Javon Evans and Kofi Kingston. Evans was very energetic, as he always is, high flying off the ropes, bouncing literally off of the ropes as well. Kofi had to use some heel tactics to get ahead. There was a moment that Evans looked like he was going for a swanton bomb, and it was obviously a planned part where Kofi rolled out and Evans lands on his feet, but it looked like Evans had tweaked his knee a little bit during that. He started favoring the left side a little bit too much. And even with all that, he was still able to perform some high-flying stunts. Eventually, the New Day Grayson Waller, actually. Are we really considering him part of the New Day, right? We're not doing that, right? Okay, I didn't think so. I don't want to think that either. But Grayson Waller got involved, and then Offset actually threw Waller into the announce table. Woods tried to come over and interfere, but he was in his arm sling, so he could not do anything. Kofi got distracted. Javon then hit the OG cutter for the win. I mean, nothing special about this match. It's just you can see the push that they're making for Javon right now. He's in the Elimination Chamber. He's now kind of getting that rub from the New Day. I don't think he's going to win Saturday, but I do think that he is going to be featured heavily and maybe get him into the mid-card scene earlier than expected with kind of the momentum he's building right now. What do you guys think of the match and the aftermath of it?
I like what they're doing with Javon. He's getting the good competition. He's getting the top guys. He's getting the guys that are at the PLEs, whether it be the Gunthers or it be, like him getting the veteran and Kofi Kingston, because that's somebody he's been compared to. So to get to see him do what he does in the ring, and that new move he got, that corkscrew kick, like that move is beastly. But his only downfall will be that, and I don't want to say this because I'm gonna sound like an old head that's been hating on him lately, but he doesn't have to be as aerial as he is. All his reversals don't have to be aerial reversals. He could do a lot of stuff off the body, or he could do the gymnastic reversals and stuff like that. But like the one he did tonight he got to be able to know not to go so high. He got to get in his Montez Ford bag.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like the one thing that I love what he does in the ring. I love the intensity of him almost making every single match that he's in a pay-per-view-esque match, how he does. I am concerned, and knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but I'm concerned for his health, his body, because, like Teddy said, when you jump, when you're doing all these, moves and you're jumping off the top rope all the time, and Coach, you mentioned earlier about the knee, those are going to take a toll. And so I love what he's doing. I love the push, though, and I am hoping to see more and more of his growth in the ring.
All right, we get to our next segment, which is CM Punk coming to the ring for a very brief promo talking about how he is here being the fighting champion, the working champion, and that he has put his title on the line against Finn Balor and could be jeopardizing the main event against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. but that he is willing to do that. Talked about how Reigns will be at Raw next week and that he will probably come face to face with him. This could have been sent in an email and would have been just as effective. This was just a filler segment. Punk did what he could, but I don't think it had much interest from everybody else except for the crowd service of singing, Cult of Personality, and that was it.
That's the part of the show where I said things plateaued, because I really wanted to put in the group chat. I said, damn, not the best in the world, Mr. Pipe Bomb over here having moments on the mic where there's a lot of dead silence and he's regurgitating the same line he just did 20 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that was a forced promo that didn't need to be had tonight. Like,
I think he
left
lost
it alone. Truthfully, you could have left that promo out and had AJ Celebration be like people like Abyss coming out and speaking, and he always mentions like Christopher Daniels or like something like that. What people from TNA, Abyss, and people from WWE. Maybe if he would have had somebody from New Japan, which would be Shinsuke, for people to share, or even hell, even if it had a moment where Finn came down, Tama came down, Tonga came down, the Bullet Club with Cody, AJ and Finn all in the ring together as the heads of the Bullet Club. There's a lot of different things that could have happened tonight, but that promo, this was one of the things that didn't need to happen. And you know what might happen.
When you literally start a promo, I'm not going to try to take up I'm not going to try to take up that much time for AJ and all that. Like, immediately you know where that promo is going to go. It's going to be something quickly put together, time filler, something that, okay, great, Roman's not there. Yeah, at what point was he supposed to come out, if he was there? Okay, cool, great. But it was just very much time filler that just wasn't needed at all.
All right, we get to our main event, but really our final match of the evening, which is the final women's elimination qualifier match between Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Raquel Rodriguez. Very similar to the men's match, the two smaller opponents attacked the bigger opponent. Io Sky and Kairi Sane teamed up together like they used to do with Damage Control and actually had a brief celebration with each other, only for both of them to realize that was not right, and they started attacking each other. This was a good match highlighting everybody's offense, and Corey Graves said it perfectly on commentary that you're seeing a new Raquel Rodriguez, you're seeing Kairi Sane trying to prove herself, and Io trying to carry momentum from everything she's done the past year. And the women did a great job in the ring with that. It was towards the end when Io hit the prettiest moonsault, the over the moonsault. I got the wrong one. There's too many dang moonsault finishers right now. But Io hit the over the moonsault on Kairi, and as she was lined up for the pin, Raquel dragged her out of the ring and then hit the Tejana bomb on Zayn and went 1, 2, 3. So Raquel will be going to the Elimination Chamber. And this was the exact right call that they needed. If Io would have been in there, it would have been a missed opportunity for Raquel. I wouldn't have minded Kairi Sane in that, because you definitely could have built the storyline with her and Asuka up a little bit more on their kind of miscommunication they're doing right now. But Raquel was the easy choice, and it was the right call. But good match overall. I think this one was definitely probably the better match out of everything tonight in the ring. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I
Honestly,
have nothing to
go
really
ahead,
add.
Tank.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Tank.
I was just gonna say, like, I think it was the right call. There not much. You said it all for me, Coach. I mean, it really highlighted everybody individually, and I think especially when you see stars get lost in the hustle and the hustle bustle, like all that fun stuff. You see them get lost in other stars' spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was really a showcase of the three whose partners probably are deemed the better wrestlers. You know what I mean? And so for them to showcase their individual talents was incredible. And I agree, it was probably the best match of the night.
That's a great point right there, Tank. I didn't think about that. That's good insight right there, dude.
No, Tank definitely hit it on the head with that one. I didn't even think of that aspect of them being the considerable weaker links of their tag teams. But in this match, having Raquel needs the strap. Like, let's just be real. I'm just mad that they didn't take it off of Stephanie and let Liv challenge Raquel for the title. Like, that would have been a better storyline in a sense of like what to happen, because then you can have dissension with the Judgment Day, where either Liv gets kicked out and it's just Raquel and Roxanne now, or whatever it could be. But it's so many different angles. But I could see Raquel winning it if Tiffany doesn't win the Elimination Chamber. But or did Tiffany win? No, did Tiffany win?
Tiffany's gonna be in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So but Io and Kyrie always have good chemistry when going against each other. It's just the curiosity of how rough is Raquel going to be with you in the ring tonight.
Hey, but let's remember, I agree with the Raquel, but there's one big pay-per-view after Mania, Money in the Bank, especially if Liv wins.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's something to think about. You know what I mean? And it is, I think because I would like it.
Yeah,
I actually like that angle a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I like that, Tank.
Because what it could be is that Liv defeats, Stephanie in a rematch or something, and somebody comes out and beats up Liv because they're mad at Liv, and Raquel just cashes in.
Roxanne Perez Judgment Day. There's so many angles. There's so many angles that they could use, but especially with the whole Judgment Day angle, them falling apart, breaking apart. It's going to be an interesting year for those two, especially.
Agreed. All right, so now we get to our final segment of the evening, the tribute to AJ Styles, and it begins with a tribute package set to Creed's Higher. I mean, how can you not shed a tear already with that song playing?
Because the last time it was done. The last time it was done was for the Texas Rattlesnake. And that video package was one that made you fucking cry too, because when he dropped him on his head, he broke his neck, and they did the little walk with the river. I was like, oh shit, that's cool.
Well, who was in? It's funny that you mentioned that, because who was one of the first people to be say
the voice was Stone Cold, and it's like you get the Creed rub with Stone Cold, and he's the last person to have Creed as a video package, but he's the first person to speak about you.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah. So after all of that, AJ does come out to the ring, accidentally hits his head on the backstage.
I seen that.
That was rough, but you know what?
It's all right. It happens. It happens to all of us. But he comes out to the ring, talks about his accomplishments, recalled his time with TNA, taking on Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Frankie Kazarian, and the rest of that roster, talked about going to New Japan Pro Wrestling, meeting Gallows and Anderson, talking about how they taught him how to have fun. And after all that, AJ said that the one thing that he didn't accomplish yet with his career is being a full-time father, his family being at ringside, thanked his wife and children. And he said the reason he didn't leave his gloves at the Royal Rumble was because he wanted to bring them back to Atlanta and leave them at home. And he laid his jacket and his gloves down. He said, thank you to everybody one last time. Roster starts coming out, and even people that we haven't seen in a while. You got Frankie Kazarian there tonight. Abyss was there as well. You had Omos finally coming back on WWE television and not just on AAA. Gallows and Anderson were back. The Tongas were there in not without their war paint on, so that was nice to see. Just everybody was there, and AJ just taking it all in. They're all clapping for him. And then out of nowhere, the gong hits. And here comes the Undertaker on his bike. And as he comes in, he looks down, confused at AJ laying his stuff in the ring, and says that we have unfinished business. And AJ is surprised by this because you could tell this was definitely not revealed to him that this was going to happen. And Taker says that it was his pleasure to say that he will be headlining the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame. And AJ's family comes into the ring and they celebrate together. And that is how the show ends. And a beautiful way to end a show, because this was what it was all about. It was all about AJ Styles. We could forget about everything else that happened beforehand. This is the moment that we cared about the most.
Man, there's a part of me texting in the group chat. There was a part of me that was hoping Taker would challenge AJ Styles at Mania in front of a live crowd this time to make up for the match during COVID. That was still a great match, still a great segment they did, but nothing beats that live crowd. But definitely deserved, after a career that he's had. And that segment, I'm sad, but also glad that AJ Styles shut down in his own way the whole him coming back, or Gunther coming, basically him fighting one more match. I think he is really ready to go. I think this was this cement what he wanted, and he couldn't have done it any better, in my opinion.
Man, it was beautiful, man, because I remember first being introduced to AJ Styles, with the six-sided ring in TNA. That's how I met AJ Styles, his development through there, whether it was with Main Event Mafia, whether it was with what was it, Legacy? Not Legacy, it was Legacy, Aces and Eights, the whole nine, the matches he had with Abyss, with Kazarian, with Christopher Daniels, the Jay Lethal, Xavier Woods, also known as Consequences Creed. He was always 5-star matches. I would have loved to seen him and Rob Van Dam go at it. That would have been a dream match of mine to see. But the Ultimate Professional, you can always tell that AJ Styles always gave it his all. Even if he had a botch in a match, he still was professional about it. you know that you never really seen him complaining about anything. You never really um it was nice to see what they were able to do for AJ. The video package, you know, shed thug tears because when I first heard that song the first time, I cried like a little baby, and I was young as hell at the time. And even in my adult life, I done got grown. I was like, oh shit, this is the one. But it was befitting for him. Like, of course that they could have used it for John Cena, but it hit a little different for it being AJ Styles. Like, we know when John Cena's time comes, he's gonna have, you know, the appreciation of all appreciations, you know. But how they did this for AJ and what he said, whether it be VIA podcast or what he just wants to do as a dad, man, it's like, it's great that he's able to go out on his own shield and he can stand upright and walk with his kids versus being bent over and on a walker or something, you know.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing to see, and I'm glad that AJ got to do it his way and not leave anything to chance. I think that's why people love him even more, is that he went out the way that he said he wanted to go out. Other than that, for Monday Night Raw, this was a very show tonight. But like I said, the main reason we all tuned in was for AJ, and we were not disappointed. So the show, in a way, was a success. However, everything before that segment was just kind of So not the best for a go-home show before Elimination Chamber, but
I could have left Maxine Dupree off my TV screen tonight.
Couldn't have said it any better, Teddy. You guys got any?
I'm just saying,
thoughts?
you know, she didn't have to be on my screen tonight. Her or Natty. Let's just be honest here. Could have left
guys, any
ass off my screen.
Any final thoughts?
And a matter of fact, it's bad enough they put that weak ass Becky Lynch promo on there tonight. We ain't even talk about that bullshit.
Oh yeah, because I skipped it.
Oh yeah, thank you, piss break.
I had to rewind something and watch something, and then when I went to live, I saw that she was on there. I was like, oh, well.
I had to go watch a robot clean a kitchen on TikTok.
Well, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight's show. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in, listening, and watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to all of our content here at the We Book It podcast. Oh yeah,
can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Teddy.
Hey Virgil, this is how you run a show, bitch.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh.
That's only because he's sidebarring me right now, so I had to talk shit.
Yeah, Virgil producing tonight. Thank you, Virgil, for doing that for us. For Tank and Teddy Long, I am Coach. Thank you all once again, and we will see you next Monday for another edition of Monday Night Raw Dog post Elimination Chamber and on the road to WrestleMania. We'll see you guys next time.